Good morning, good afternoon, Professor, fellow students. I want to ask you a question. What if I told you that there is a tax, a hidden tax, that is secretly or quietly draining your wallet every time you go shopping, buy gas, groceries, or whatever, and most of us don't even realize it's happening to us? I'm talking about tariffs. I want to address the issue that has echoed through the pages of history and remains relevant in today's global economy: the dangers of overtaxing the citizens through tariffs. As we all know, tariffs are secret taxes that impose upon imported goods. They're often justified as tools to protect domestic industries or to generate government revenue. But when misused or overly applied, they place undue burdens on everyday consumers, people like you and me. They stifle economic growth and strain international relations. History provides cautionary tales about the misuse of tariffs. Perhaps the most infamous example in American history is the Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930. This act raised U.S. tariffs on 20,000 imported goods with the intent to protect American jobs during the Great Depression. But rather than revitalizing the economy, it sparked retaliatory tariffs from other nations, shrinking global trade by nearly 2/3 and worsening the economic crisis. Economist Thomas Sowell said, "What protectionism protects is not jobs, but specific groups of workers at the expense of the general public." In other words, you and I suffer. The rich don't. Tariffs often operate as hidden taxes on consumers. The public rarely sees the price tag of a protectionist policy, but they pay for it every day at the grocery store, at the gas pump, and in the cost of consumer goods. Tariffs disproportionately affect the poor and working class citizens. When tariffs increase the cost of imported goods, guess what? Goods like food, clothing, electronics rather, and even medicine, guess who suffers? Those with the least disposable income. People like you and myself. I keep saying that, but it's like you and me. We suffer first. The rich, they have money. They can survive. We suffer the most. So, Roger Olson says, while discussing Christian ethics in economic justice, he warns against policies that increase the burden on the vulnerable. This is what he says. He says, if any economic system or policy benefits the powerful while oppressing the weak, it contradicts the very heart of biblical justice. Excessive tariffs, when used as a primary revenue or trade source or trade weapon, they violate this very principle by quietly penalizing those who least can pay. Tariffs do not exist in a vacuum. They provoke responses. Other nations retaliate with their own tariffs, harming domestic exporters, escalating trade wars, and straining diplomatic ties. The short-term political appeal of protecting local jobs can easily devolve into a long-term economic isolation and inflation. The Apostle Paul teaches in Romans that governments are ordained by God to be a terror not to the good conduct, but to bad conduct. Taxation, including tariffs, is legitimate, but it must be just, proportional, and for the common good. When taxes become tools of political gain and possess punitive measures, they drift from their original purpose. Thomas Oden offers a warning in regard to this when he says, unrestrained power, including economic power, without ethical direction leads to oppression, not order. If tariff policies become politically weaponized or ideologically, I can't say that word, that help me out, ideologically driven, without regard for human justice or economic impact, they threaten the very people they claim to protect. Tariffs are not inherently evil, but like all tools of government, they must be wielded with wisdom, restraint, and commitment to justice. History shows us that overtaxing citizens, especially through the veil of tariffs, can lead to economic disaster, international conflict, and injustice toward the poor. Let us remember that good governance considers not just immediate political gains, but long-term effects on society's most vulnerable. As citizens, voters, and leaders, we may advocate for policies that promote fairness, transparency, and prosperity, not hidden taxes that burden the people under the guise of national protection. I thank you.